The massive screen flickered with red warning lights across the alien monitoring station. Commander Gray stood from his chair, his tall frame casting a shadow over the blinking console. His four eyes narrowed at the energy reading coming from the primitive solar system. Another anomaly from that backwater planet. Officer Smith asked, his scaled fingers dancing across the control panel. We should just ignore it like always. Commander Gray shook his head. Something felt different this time. The energy signature was unlike anything they had seen before. But that was impossible. The humans were still fighting among themselves, barely able to reach their own moon. Run the scan again, he ordered, leaning closer to the screen. The reading remained the same, a massive energy spike originating from Earth's orbit, with power levels that shouldn't be possible for their technology level. Sir, Officer Smith called out, his voice trembling slightly. The humans, they're building something up there. Something big. Miles above Earth's surface, Admiral James Thompson stood on the bridge of humanity's greatest achievement, the TNS Titan. The massive battleship stretched over 2 kilometers in length, its black hull absorbing light like a shadow against the stars. Engine room reports quantum drive is at full power, sir, Lieutenant Wilson reported, her voice steady despite the historic moment. Thompson walked to the front viewport, his hands clasped behind his back. 20 years of secret development, hundreds of brilliant minds working together, and billions of dollars had led to this moment. The world had thought they were just launching satellites and small space stations. No one, not even the aliens who thought they were secretly watching Earth, knew what humanity had actually achieved. Status of the stealth systems? Thompson asked. Operating at peak efficiency, sir. The quantum absorption field is masking 99.9% of our energy signature. Wilson paused, checking another reading. Though we did detect a brief energy leak during the last drive test, the aliens might have noticed something. Thompson allowed himself a small smile. Good. Let them wonder. It's time they learned that humanity isn't as primitive as they think. Back at the monitoring station, Commander Gray was facing a difficult decision. The energy spike was significant enough to warrant reporting to the Galactic Council, but doing so would admit that his station had failed to notice whatever the humans were developing. Sir, Officer Smith called out again. We're detecting movement. Something is emerging from Earth's orbit. The main screen showed a massive object breaking away from Earth's shadow. Its size alone should have been impossible for human technology. Magnification times 10, Gray ordered. The image zoomed in, revealing the sleek lines of what was unmistakably a warship. But its design was like nothing in the Galactic Council's database. No visible engine ports, no standard weapon mounts, and a hull material that seemed to absorb their scanning beams. Impossible, Smith whispered. Their technology level was assessed just 3 cycles ago. They shouldn't have this capability for at least another 100 cycles. Gray felt a chill run down his spine. The humans had somehow developed in secret, hidden their true capabilities, and built something that defied their understanding of physics. Send the alert, he commanded. Maximum priority to all Council forces. The humans have emerged. On the Titan's bridge, Thompson watched as his crew prepared for their first quantum jump. They had trained for this moment countless times in simulation, but this would be the first actual jump. All stations report ready, sir, Wilson announced. Quantum drive is spooled up. Jump coordinates are set for the Proxima Centauri colony. Thompson nodded. Humanity's first interstellar colony had been established in secret 5 years ago using the same quantum drive technology. Now it was time to show the galaxy that Earth wasn't just another primitive world to be watched and dismissed. Send the message to Earth Command, he ordered. Operation Revelation is go. The massive battleship's hull began to glow with a soft blue light as the quantum drive engaged. In moments, they would jump farther than any alien ship could travel in months. Sir, Wilson said, pride evident in her voice. The aliens' monitoring station has detected us. They're sending out alerts. Thompson smiled again. Good. It's time the galaxy learned that watching Earth was their biggest mistake. The TNS Titan vanished in a flash of quantum energy, leaving behind a very different galaxy than the one it would emerge into. The busy trading station of Beta-7 erupted into chaos as the TNS Titan emerged from its quantum jump. The massive human battleship appeared without warning, its black hull blocking out the light from the nearby star. Trading vessels scattered like startled fish, their captains sending panic signals across all channels. The station's defense platforms swiveled to face the unknown ship, their weapons charging but holding fire. Multiple ships are hailing us, Lieutenant Wilson reported from her station on the Titan's bridge. The station's commander is demanding we identify ourselves. Admiral Thompson straightened his uniform. Put them on screen. The main display lit up with the image of Station Commander Reed, a tall alien with crystalline features. His voice crackled through the speakers, filled with both fear and anger. Unidentified vessel, you have entered restricted space. Power down your engines and prepare to be boarded, or we will open fire. Thompson smiled. This is Admiral James Thompson of the Earth Naval Ship Titan. We're here to open diplomatic relations. The alien commander's crystalline face sparkled with surprise. Earth? The primitive world? Impossible. Your species doesn't have quantum jump capability. Things change, Commander, Thompson replied calmly. Though I must correct you, we're not primitive. We just prefer to keep our capabilities private. On the station's command deck, Reed was facing a crisis. The sensors showed impossible readings from the human vessel. Energy signatures that shouldn't exist, defensive systems beyond anything in the Council's database, and a hull material that absorbed all scanning attempts. Sir, his weapons officer called out, the Council's rapid response fleet is 10 minutes away. They're ordering us to disable the human vessel. Reed looked at the massive ship floating outside his station. And how exactly do they expect us to do that? They suggest we fire a warning shot to show our superior technology. Back on the Titan, Wilson's console peeped. Sir, they're targeting us with their main weapons. Let them fire, Thompson ordered. Activate point defense systems, but keep them at minimum power. We don't want to hurt anyone. The station's defense platforms unleashed a barrage of energy weapons. The space around the Titan lit up as dozens of quantum point defense nodes activated, creating small fields that simply absorbed the incoming fire. The bridge crew watched calmly as every shot disappeared harmlessly. On the main screen, Commander Reed's crystalline face had lost all its sparkle. How that's not possible, Reed whispered. Those were our strongest weapons. Thompson leaned forward in his chair. Commander, we came here to talk, not fight. But if the Council's fleet is really coming, they should know something. What you just saw was our ship operating at less than 1% of its defensive capability. The Council fleet arrived exactly as predicted, dropping out of their slower-than-light drives in an impressive formation. 50 warships, the pride of the Galactic Council's military might, surrounded the single Earth vessel. Final warning, human ship, the Council Admiral's voice boomed across all channels. Surrender now or be destroyed. Your primitive vessel cannot stand against our combined fleet. Thompson sighed. They were making the same mistake as the monitoring station. Lieutenant Wilson, power up the main quantum shield. Let's show them what primitive looks like. The Titan's hull began to glow with a soft blue light. A field of quantum energy expanded outward, visible to the naked eye, something that should have been scientifically impossible. Attention Council Fleet, Thompson broadcast. We came here peacefully, hoping to open diplomatic relations as equals. But if you insist on learning the hard way, remember, you chose this path. The Council ships opened fire together, thousands of energy weapons and missiles streaking toward the Titan. The quantum shield flared bright blue, absorbing every single shot without so much as a tremor running through the human ship. In the silence that followed, Thompson made one final broadcast. Now, shall we try talking instead? The galaxy would never be the same after that day. The myth of human primitiveness died in the light of that quantum shield, and every spacefaring race had to face a new reality. Earth had arrived, and they had been holding back. The Grand Chamber of the Galactic Council buzzed with angry voices. Hundreds of alien representatives argued as footage of the TNAS Titans demonstration played on the massive screens above. The quantum shield absorbing their most powerful weapons had shaken their confidence to its core. High Counselor Banks slammed his ceremonial staff against the floor 3 times. The chamber fell silent. "The humans have deceived us all," he declared, his scaled face flushing dark blue with rage. "They hid their true capabilities while we watched them, thinking they were primitive. This cannot go unpunished." The representative from the trading worlds, Ambassador White, stood up. "Perhaps we should consider peaceful contact. Their ship could have destroyed our fleet, but they chose not to." "Weakness," shouted another counselor. "There's still just one planet, one ship. We have thousands." Aboard the Titan, Admiral Thompson watched the Council's emergency session through their public broadcasts. Lieutenant Wilson stood beside him, shaking her head at their reactions. "They still don't understand, do they, sir?" she asked. Thompson sighed. "No, they don't. They think the Titan is all we have." He turned to his communications officer. "Send a message to Earth Command. Tell them to prepare Operation Revelation Phase 2. Back in the Council chamber, High Counselor Banks was calling for a vote. "We must show these humans their place. I propose we gather our combined fleets and attack their homeworld directly. Who stands with me?" Hands and tentacles rose across the chamber. Ambassador White and a few others kept their appendages down, but they were clearly in the minority. "The vote is clear," Banks announced. "Ready the combined fleet. We will." The chamber's main screen suddenly activated. Admiral Thompson's face appeared, causing immediate uproar. "Honorable Council members," Thompson said calmly, "I apologize for interrupting, but I couldn't help overhearing your plans to attack Earth." "How dare you spy on our session?" Banks shouted. Thompson smiled. "This is a public broadcast, Counselor, and before you commit to this attack, I have a duty to warn you. What you saw was one ship, operating at minimal power, trying to avoid conflict. Do not mistake our restraint for weakness." "Empty threats from a primitive species," Banks sneered. "Your one ship cannot stop our combined fleet." "One ship?" Thompson raised an eyebrow. "Who said we only had one ship?" The chamber's screens suddenly changed, showing live feeds from across the galaxy. At every major council world, quantum rifts were opening. Out of each rift emerged a ship identical to the Titan. "By the stars," Ambassador White whispered. "This is the TNAS Atlas. Reporting in position," came a transmission. "TNAS Hercules in position." "TNS Phoenix ready." "TNS Dragon standing by." One by one, 20 Earth battleships reported in, each as powerful as the Titan. The Council chamber erupted into panic. "Sir," Wilson reported on the Titan's bridge, "all ships are in position. Earth Command reports the planetary defense grid is fully operational as well." Thompson nodded. "Send one final message to the Council." In the chaos of the Council chamber, Thompson's voice cut through the noise. "Counselors, what you see is not a threat. It's a demonstration of why attacking Earth would be a mistake. We hid our capabilities because we wanted to develop in peace, to reveal ourselves when we were ready for true diplomatic relations. We don't want war. We don't want conquest. We want cooperation." He paused, letting his words sink in. "But make no mistake, if you attack us, if you force this conflict, you will learn that what you've seen so far isn't even a fraction of humanity's true capabilities. The choice is yours: peace and cooperation, or a war you cannot win." The Council chamber fell silent. High Counselor Banks slumped in his chair, his blue scales now pale with shock. Ambassador White stood up again. "I move to cancel the attack plans and open diplomatic channels with Earth," she announced. This time, every hand and tentacle in the chamber rose in agreement. The galaxy had just learned its second great lesson about humanity. Not only were they not primitive, they were far more prepared than anyone could have imagined. Despite the Council's vote for peace, High Counselor Banks had other plans. Under cover of darkness, he ordered his personal fleet, nearly 300 ships, to attack humanity's first colony at Proxima Centauri. He would teach these upstart humans a lesson, no matter what the council had decided. The humans won't expect an attack here, Banks told his commanders as their fleet dropped out of faster-than-light travel near Proxima. Their colony is new and weak. We'll destroy it and show everyone that. He stopped mid-sentence. His fleet's sensors were picking up something impossible. Ahead of them, floating in perfect formation, was a wall of Earth battleships. Not 20, like they had shown the Council. Not even 50. There were 200 ships, each as large and powerful as the Titan. "Sir," his sensor officer reported, voice shaking. "The human ships, they're just sitting there, not moving, not even raising shields." Admiral Thompson sat calmly on the bridge of the Titan, which floated at the center of Earth's defensive line. Next to his command chair, a hologram showed High Counselor Banks's fleet approaching. "They really came," Lieutenant Wilson said quietly, "even after our warning." Thompson nodded. "Some people have to learn the hard way. All ships, activate quantum arrays. Defense pattern Delta." Banks watched in confusion as the human ships started to glow with blue light, but instead of forming individual shields, the energy streams connected between ships, creating one massive quantum field. "What are they doing?" he demanded. His tactical officer's eyes widened. "Sir, the field, it's not just defensive. It's changing space itself." "Quantum field stable," Wilson reported. "All ships linked and synchronized, ready to execute defense pattern Delta on your command." Thompson looked at the enemy fleet. So many lives at stake, all because one leader couldn't accept change. "Send the final warning," he ordered. On every ship in Banks's fleet, screens activated showing Thompson's face. "High Counselor Banks, you were warned. The Council voted for peace. Yet here you are, trying to attack our colony. This is your final chance. Turn back now." Banks snarled at the screen. "Fire everything. Show these humans what real power looks like." 300 ships fired their weapons at once. Energy beams, plasma torpedoes, and antimatter missiles streaked toward the human line. What happened next would be talked about for centuries. The massive quantum field didn't just absorb the attacks. It caught them. Every energy beam, every torpedo, every missile stopped in mid-space, frozen in the quantum field's blue light. "Impossible," Banks screamed. "Nothing can stop weapons in flight." Thompson's voice came again. "Wrong. You just never imagined it could be done. Lieutenant Wilson, execute defense pattern Delta." The quantum field pulsed. All the frozen weapons turned around, aimed back at Banks's fleet. "No," Banks whispered. "Yes," Thompson replied. "Your own weapons, turned against you by our quantum field technology. One last chance, Counselor. Stand down." Banks looked at his weapons, hanging in space, pointed at his own ships. His pride warred with his survival instinct. Pride lost. "All ships, power down weapons," he ordered, slumping in his chair. We surrender." The quantum field released its hold on space, carefully dissolving the captured weapons harmlessly. Earth's ships maintained their formation as Banks's fleet powered down. "Sir," Wilson reported to Thompson, "the Council is hailing us. They've received word of Banks's unauthorized attack. They're ordering him to return for trial." Thompson nodded. "Send them the battle footage. The galaxy needs to understand something. Earth will defend itself and its colonies. We'll do it without killing when possible, but we will do it." He stood up, looking at the defeated fleet through the Titan's viewport. "The galaxy just learned 2 final lessons about humanity," he said quietly. "We're more powerful than they imagined, and more merciful than they deserve." Behind him, Earth's fleet of 200 ships glowed softly in the light of Proxima Centauri, their quantum technology having just rewritten the rules of space warfare forever. News of the Battle of Proxima spread through the galaxy faster than light itself. Every trading port, space station, and colony world buzzed with the same recordings. Hundreds of Earth ships controlling space itself, turning weapons back on their owners, and showing mercy when they could have destroyed their enemies. On the desert world of Kepler 4, A group of miners gathered around a holographic display showing the battle footage. "Did you see that?" one of them asked, pointing at the quantum field. "The humans didn't just stop the weapons. They caught them, like catching rain in a bucket." His friend, a veteran of the Council's forces, shook his head in wonder. "In 30 years of space combat, I've never seen anything like it. The Council always told us they were primitive." "The Council tells us a lot of things," another miner growled. "Like how we have to pay triple taxes for protection we never see." Similar conversations were happening everywhere, spreading like wildfire across the stars. Admiral Thompson stood on the Titan's observation deck, watching ships come and go from Earth's new embassy station near Proxima. In the week since the battle, 50 different species had requested diplomatic relations with Earth. Lieutenant Wilson entered, carrying a data tablet. "Sir, you need to see this." The tablet showed feeds from across the galaxy. On dozens of worlds, people were rising up against Council authority. Mining colonies were declaring independence. Trading guilds were breaking old contracts. "They're all asking for the same thing," Wilson said, "Earth's protection." Thompson watched a scene from a distant mining world. The workers had painted their ships with Earth's flag, a bold move that would have been punishable by death just weeks ago. "How many requests for protection have we received?" he asked. 317 as of this morning, sir. More coming in every hour." In the Council's emergency bunker, their grand chamber still under repair after the panic of recent events, Ambassador White addressed the remaining loyal members. "We can't ignore this anymore," she declared. "For centuries, we ruled through fear and lies. We called other species primitive. We took their resources. We kept them divided." She gestured to a hologram showing Earth's fleet. "But humanity did something we never expected. They didn't just develop in secret. They developed differently. Their quantum technology doesn't just make them powerful. It makes them capable of defense without destruction." "What are you suggesting?" asked one of the few remaining counselors. "I'm suggesting we adapt or fade away. Earth isn't conquering anyone. They're protecting them. And people are choosing their protection over our control." Back on the Titan, Thompson received an urgent message from Earth Command. He read it twice, making sure he understood it correctly. "Lieutenant," he called out, "prepare the fleet for deployment. Multiple deployments." Wilson looked up from her station. "Sir, Earth has made a decision. We're establishing defense pacts with any world that wants our protection. We're calling it the Galactic Defense Initiative." He walked to the main viewport, watching as Earth ships began moving into formation. "Spread the word to all ships. Our mission has changed. We're not just defending Earth anymore. We're defending everyone who needs it." Across the galaxy, Earth ships appeared near threatened worlds. Their quantum fields didn't just protect human interests. They protected anyone who asked for help. Former enemies became allies. Old rivalries faded as species after species joined Earth's growing alliance. The Council's power crumbled not through war, but through choice. Why follow rulers who ruled through fear when you could ally with protectors who offered safety without submission? On a distant mining world, workers cheered as an Earth battleship took up position near their planet. Its quantum field glowed softly in the starlight, a beacon of hope in the darkness of space. The galaxy was changing. The old order was ending, and it had all started because the Council made one simple mistake. They thought being peaceful meant being primitive. They never understood that humanity's greatest strength wasn't its weapons or technology. It was the choice to use that power to protect rather than control. The mining world of Centauri 7 erupted in celebration as its governor signed the defense pact with Earth. Workers threw their old Council identification cards into recycling bins, replacing them with new Earth Alliance badges. Above the planet, the TSS Dragon's quantum field shimmered like a protective blanket. But not everyone was celebrating. In their hidden bases across the galaxy, Council loyalists were plotting. "We cannot let Earth destroy everything we built," former High Counselor Banks declared to his remaining followers. His scales had turned a pale blue from stress. "We must strike now, before more worlds join them." His new fleet, smaller than before but still dangerous, prepared for one final attack. This time, they would target Earth's supply lines, hitting civilian ships carrying aid to newly freed worlds. On the Titan's bridge, Admiral Thompson received the warning from Earth's quantum detection grid. Banks is moving his forces toward the Orion trading route. Lieutenant Wilson reported, "Looks like he's planning to attack our supply ships." Thompson studied the tactical display. "He thinks hitting civilians will make us look weak." He straightened his uniform. "Send word to all Earth ships in the sector. Rules of engagement remain the same: disable, don't destroy, and get me a channel to the civilian ships." The first merchant vessel captain to spot Banks's fleet was Jane Miller on the transport ship Star Road. She saw enemy ships dropping out of faster-than-light travel ahead of her convoy. "All ships hold position," she broadcast to the other transports. "Earth defense has been notified." Banks's voice cut across all channels. "Surrender your ships and cargo or be destroyed. The Council's authority must be respected." Captain Miller smiled. "Actually, you might want to look behind you." Banks spun in his command chair as his sensors screamed warnings. 5 Earth battleships had appeared, their quantum fields already linking together. "Sir," his tactical officer shouted, "more ships coming in. They're boxing us in." Earth ships emerged from quantum jumps all around them, forming a perfect sphere around Banks's fleet. Their quantum fields connected, creating a massive bubble that trapped the Council ships inside. Thompson's voice came through clear and calm. "High Counselor Banks, your time is over. The galaxy has chosen a different path." "Never," Banks screamed. "All ships, open fire. Break their quantum field." His ships fired everything they had. But this time, the quantum field didn't just catch the weapons. It began to glow brighter and brighter. "Quantum conversion process at 100%, Wilson reported on the Titan. "Ready to execute." Thompson nodded. "Show them what Earth's technology can really do." The quantum field flashed brilliant blue. All the energy from Banks's weapons transformed, changing from destructive force into pure power. That power flowed through the field, overloading and shutting down every weapon system on the Council ships. In 10 seconds, Banks's entire fleet was helpless, floating in space. "All Council ships," Thompson broadcast, "your weapons are disabled. Your engines will follow unless you power down now. Choose wisely." One by one, the Council ships went dark, surrendering without a single life lost. The news spread quickly. Earth had captured the last Council fleet without firing a shot. More worlds declared their independence. The remaining Council loyalists surrendered or disappeared into the depths of space. On Centauri 7, miners watched Banks being led away in custody, broadcast on every channel. "Look at that," one said. "Earth could have destroyed them all. Instead, they just stopped them. No killing, no revenge." His friend nodded. "That's why everyone's joining them. They don't just have the power to rule the galaxy. They have the wisdom not to." Above them, Earth ships continued their patrols, their quantum fields glowing like new stars in the night sky. The revolution wasn't won through violence or destruction, but through protection and mercy. The old Council was finished. In its place, a new alliance was growing, one built on mutual respect and the simple promise that Earth's power would be used to protect, never to oppress. The galaxy had changed forever, and there was no going back. 1 year after the Battle of Proxima, the galaxy was unrecognizable. The old Council Tower had been transformed into the Earth Alliance headquarters, its dark halls now filled with light and representatives from 100 different species. Admiral Thompson stood at the main window, watching ships from across the galaxy dock at the station. The TNAS Titan floated nearby, its quantum field harmonizing with the protective barrier around the station. "Latest report from the outer sectors, sir," Lieutenant Wilson said, approaching with a data tablet. "The last Council holdouts have surrendered. The galaxy is officially at peace for the first time in recorded history." Thompson nodded, thinking back to that first day when they revealed themselves to the galaxy, and the new defense network. Fully operational, Earth ships are stationed at every major trading route and colony world. The quantum fields are linked, creating the largest protective network ever built. In the station's Great Hall, thousands gathered for the first Galactic Unity Summit. Representatives from mining worlds sat next to former council species. Trading guild leaders chatted with colony governors. Old enemies had become allies under Earth's protection. Ambassador White, now Earth's chief diplomatic officer, took the stage. The room fell silent. 1 year ago, she began, the galaxy thought Earth was primitive. They thought we were weak because we stayed quiet, because we didn't conquer or control. They were wrong. She gestured to the massive window showing Earth ships patrolling nearby. Humanity didn't develop in secret because we were afraid. We did it because we wanted to be ready, not to rule the galaxy, but to protect it. On distant mining worlds, workers watched the summit broadcast, while Earth ships kept their skies safe. On trading stations, merchants conducted business without fear of pirates or council tax collectors. In former war zones, species that once fought each other now worked together under the quantum shield's blue light. The TNS Titan's quantum sensors picked up a small ship approaching the station. It was an old mining vessel, its hull patched and repaired many times. Thompson recognized the design. It was from one of the first worlds to request Earth's protection. Let them dock, he ordered when station security called for instructions. I want to meet them. The mining ship's captain was an old alien named Davis, his weathered face showing years of hard work under the council's rule. Admiral, he said, bowing slightly, I brought something to show you. He held out a piece of rock, glowing with a soft blue light similar to Earth's quantum fields. We found this in our deepest mine, Davis explained. Our scientists say it's quantum crystals, like the ones your ships use. The Council always told us our planet had no valuable resources. They lied to keep us down. Thompson studied the crystal. And now? Davis smiled. Now we're developing our own quantum technology, with Earth's help. My grandchildren won't be miners. They'll be quantum engineers. Back in the Great Hall, Ambassador White was concluding her speech. The galaxy's end didn't come with Earth's battleship's arrival, she declared. What ended was an era of fear, control, and division. What began was something new, an age of protection, cooperation, and growth. The crowd erupted in cheers. On screens across the galaxy, billions watched and celebrated. Thompson returned to the Titan's bridge, the place where it all began. Lieutenant Wilson was at her usual station, monitoring the quantum network that now connected the galaxy. Message from Earth Command, sir, she reported. They're ready to launch the first joint human-alien expedition beyond the galaxy's edge. The TNS Titan is requested to lead the mission. Thompson smiled. 1 year ago, they had revealed themselves to protect the galaxy. Now they were ready to explore it together. Send word to all ships, he ordered. The next chapter of our story is about to begin. Above the station, the Titan's quantum field pulsed with bright blue light, a beacon of hope in the vast darkness of space. The galaxy hadn't ended when Earth's battleships arrived. It had been reborn, transformed by a species that proved the greatest power isn't the ability to destroy, but the choice to protect. And this was just the beginning.